Are you ready to stop searching outside yourself and deepen the connection that matters the most?
Welcome to the Sacred Exchange podcast. We are your hosts, John and Catherine Graham.
After years of navigating our own spiritual paths, we have learned that true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the honest and vulnerable moments when we are willing to journey within with a curious mind and heart.
Every week, we invite you to journey with us as we share our spiritual ahas, our raw truth, and deepen our understanding of the human experience.
This is a space of vulnerability and healing, where souls meet, hearts transform, and love leads the way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sacred Exchange. Today is a special episode. John will be celebrating his 50th birthday on Tuesday, and I am a little bit obsessed with people being able to get older, and I know there's a lot of conversation around getting older is like a bad thing and your youth is over and all of this sort of whatever. And to me, I've always seen it as such an honor, where it's like every gray hair is like, wow, you're still here.
Yeah.
Every year that you get older, every wrinkle, etc. It's just, to me, it's so exciting because it's like you're here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor, right? It's your journey, a signature, whatever, a mark.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I've prepared some questions for John about his 50 years here, and we'll just see what kind of wisdom he has to offer after 50 years of circling the sun. So
I will do my best, folks.
Alrighty. So what do you think is the most valuable piece of advice you've ever received in the last 50 years?
Man, that's a very difficult question.
Every question is going to be difficult like this.
I've received a lot of advice, and I don't know, I think it will go back to, kind of go with the flow, because that is just, it applies to a lot of things. In my younger years or whatever, like, not taking things too serious, not, tying yourself to this is how things have to be is kind of probably the best advice is, just stay fluid and roll with the punches.
Yeah. And then to counteract that, what is the worst advice that you've ever received that you're like, I wish I hadn't taken that advice?
I don't know if I've ever had bad advice. I mean, I've made bad decisions.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think any advice is always, it comes with, the advice is people are just trying to help, right? So I don't think there's really any bad advice. There's advice I wish I had received that I didn't receive, which I guess you could say would be bad advice.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, advice that I've received from peers and family members has been good. I don't think there's a bad portion there.
Okay. Alrighty. What truth do you find yourself embracing more fully with each passing year?
Okay, so with each passing year, what truth?
Yeah.
That we are just here to experience life, to, bask in this journey. And again, it kind of goes back to that go with the flow, is where don't take it so serious. Enjoy every moment, even the struggles. Being in those moments is tough, but you're here for this purpose. You're here for this experience. Enjoy the experience. Sure, I mean, don't be afraid of what's on the other side, but this is where you are here and now.
Yeah.
Enjoy this experience. And even the little moments, the in-betweens of going from point A to point B, enjoy that. Enjoy all of the things that life has to offer.
Yeah. And would you say that you've always enjoyed it, or like what has brought you to that realization of I just need to enjoy this?
No, I would say that maybe life has brought me to that, but I can remember being, wanting this and wanting that and wanting more and wanting to be this, la 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 la, and I don't know, that just kind of fell away. Where it's like you are where you need to be,
Yeah.
and that's supported by just what I see in my daily journey is just things are where they need to be. So, yeah.
Okay. What are you discovering about your own strengths at this stage of your life?
The strengths that I'm recognizing more and more is that so the go with the flow really supports the flexibility of my perspectives and positionalities. So things that I used to be like, this is the way it has to be, now is more like, it doesn't have to be anyway. It has to be the way that it needs to be for that moment.
Yeah.
And accepting that, not going, oh no, I'm going to try and fight to make this a different way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to surrender to what this is right now, and we'll just see where it leads us. And versus trying to like force this to be a certain way or make it a certain way, or I'm going to overcome this. It's like, no, I'm just going to ride with this. I'm not going to try to force things to change or be different.
Yeah. So I don't know if the viewers at their homes can see it, but when you're talking about this, when you talk about like the forcing and the struggle and everything, there's like the darkness just kind of comes into your eyes of like, I can see the remembrance of that. And then when you talk about like the just kind of surrendering and going with the flow, it's like there's a spark in your eyes that just seems a lot more joyful. Is that how you've experienced it to be?
Well, I can remember a time where, you get stressed out about
everything.
Whatever it is. Yeah, like whatever situation where it's like, no, I got to make this happen, or I need to make sure the kids are blah, 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 blah. And now it's more just like, you never needed to. And that stress and all of that you bring that on yourself, because it will happen how it needs to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we can, point things in the right direction and whatnot and have influence, but why stress yourself out about something that you can just let it, unfold the way it needs to unfold?
Awesome.
So there is a remembrance there of like, got to get this done, got to do and be this way and fit in this box. But yeah, it is like, okay, that was silly. You just look back and go, yeah, just.
Yeah.
And I could sit here and say, oh, so much time was wasted being that. But it's like, no, you had to be that to be here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then speaking of going back, if you could give a message to your 5-year-old self, what would you want your 5-year-old self to know?
Buckle up.
Okay.
I would just kind of go back and say, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a journey, and just accept things as they go.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about your 25-year-old self? Does the advice change?
Slow down. Really get in tune with yourself and with life, not with what others say life is or social media says life should look like. Really tune into yourself and what you want to create of this and what you want to experience.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you bring social media into this, because when you were 25, I don't think social media was around.
It definitely wasn't a big influence as it is now. But I mean, you still had social circles or whatever that were saying, no, this is how life should be. You should have, 2 kids, a white picket fence, and be perfect. And at this age, you should be doing this, and at this age, you should be doing that. And it's just a farce. It is not something that we should use as a measuring stick for life.
Absolutely. I agree. What is a lesson from a difficult time in your life that you're still grateful for? Or
There's-
one that sticks out at you, I guess, as like, wow, that was such a profound awakening for me.
I mean, there's plenty of lessons I've learned, but I would say some of the most impactful lessons were when, I guess, I don't want to say I succumbed to the pressures of the outside world or of the world. When I was down, when I hit rock bottom, I never gave up.
Yeah.
And that kind of just reinforced things. So that's probably the biggest lesson. Just never give up. I mean, there's more. There's times when I was at rock bottom where there was always something that was like, no, you're here for this.
Yeah.
You are here for more than this. Don't worry about this thing that's over here. Don't worry about this thing. This will all sort itself out. You're here for this purpose. Now get up, pick yourself up, dust yourself off,
Yeah.
and don't give up.
And did you have any sense of what that purpose was at that point in time?
No, it's still a feeling. I still have that feeling.
Yeah.
I've always had this feeling of there's more, and wanting to know more.
Yeah.
What is this more? What is the, and do I know, can I pinpoint what that is? No, but that's okay. I don't need to know. It's the feeling that resonates in me.
All right. And does that feeling come up only when things are a struggle, or do you just like carry it with you all of the time?
No, I carry it with me all the time. It's there. I mean, life's.
Yeah.
But there's still that, like, no, whatever comes up, whether it's bad weather or a difficult situation, there's that feeling still there. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this is just happening right now, but this is still here. There's more to whatever outside of what's going on in here.
All right. What parts of your younger self do you want to reconnect with?
What parts of my younger self do I want to reconnect with? The carefree. I think more and more with the mindset that I have now, that is where things are leading. I just seen a post, interestingly enough, on social media about 40 and 50-year-olds that are going back into their childlike experiences now that they're 40 or 50. The kids are grown, they're running around acting silly, and so probably get in touch with that, is that carefree. And I think that is just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I think it's something that a lot of us leave behind because we're acting like an adult, and then when we can revert back to it, which is really just giving ourselves permission to go back to being carefree, I think it can be so profound for people.
Yeah, and there's other things, like, those are the positive sides of that, is going back and revisiting those. And we've done, with the compassion key and stuff, is revisiting the not so nice times.
Yeah.
And giving compassion for those moments, and kind of just releasing that and pushing that forward. So I think revisiting moments in your childhood are not a bad thing, good or bad.
Yeah, absolutely. What is the number one item on your bucket list for the next decade?
See, this one's difficult because
Okay.
just saying what I just said about going with the flow. Having a bucket list would say that, okay, this has to happen. I have some ideas of what I'd like to see. Yeah, sure, I'd like to travel. Sure, I'd like to, walk the Camino. I'd like to do plenty of things.
Yeah.
And we'll do plenty of things. But I don't want to hard set something to say, this is on my list. If this isn't completed, then my life is incomplete. No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to have these experiences, and they will come when they need to come.
Yeah.
But to hard set and put a bucket list of, these are the lists and things I need to check off before I check out. No,
That's more of a me pattern.
Yeah.
I'm a list girl, so I'm like
I'm up for whatever the adventure is, right? Like we've talked about skydiving, doing the edge walk, all these types of things.
So it sounds like adventure is
Yeah,
like
I'm not saying no to really anything.
yeah. Yeah. All right. What is something new that you would like to experience?
Something new. Again, I don't want to. We talked about this prior to, is not to just roll things all together, but I'm really down for whatever new experiences present themselves. You know, like whatever is coming up. Is there one thing that I'm like, oh, I want to try this or want to do this? I can't really say there's one.
Okay.
But whatever the universe decides to bring my way, I'm down.
Yeah.
If it's new, if it's old, if it's an old thing that needs to be revisited as new, I'm here for that.
Yeah. And would you say that you've always been as open to just experiencing whatever newness could come? Or did you used to have like...
No. Yeah, I think there was a point in my life where I would be having this checklist and going, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And don't get me wrong, I do have focus.
Yeah, yeah.
But this could be on the list, and this could be on the list, and if this doesn't happen, this can fit in that spot. So it's like, but I do remember a time where, no, I want to go and do this, I want to do that, and you get disappointed when those things don't happen.
Yeah.
So why would I want to disappoint myself by making an expectation
Fair enough.
You know, so just kind of keeping with that, go with the flow aspect of whatever comes in is what will be experienced.
Yeah, yeah. And what is your proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment is being here. No, there's plenty of things to be proud of. I'm proud of my life. I'm proud of our life, my career, all in general, just the trajectory and, you know, of my life, and the influence that I've been able to have or experiences I've been able to share with other people. It's and you know, maybe a little bit of knowledge here and there, but just being able to be here and continue experience and continue to find new things and not, I wouldn't say reinvent myself, but have a new idea of life and what life really means.
Yeah.
And never giving up. That would be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they say that a cat has 9 lives and a human apparently has 1 life, but when you talk about reinventing yourself, how many lives would you say you've actually lived in this lifetime? Like, if you could go, okay, so, you know, maybe I was a child here, so that was like 1 life, and this was 1, like, it's a weird question, I know, but...
It's life between lives, right? Like, many lives, many masters. Yeah, there's, I would say, I don't know, countless.
Okay.
I mean, I can remember, you know, you're a child, you fit into this box. You're an adolescent, you fit into this box. Within those boxes, there's other boxes. You fit in with this group or you fit in with that group, and you become this chameleon, but you're not really, you're appeasing those things that are outside, not really paying a whole lot of attention to the self.
Yeah.
So I would say I've changed that many, many times.
Yeah, yeah. Because I just know, like, as we're watching our kids grow up and stuff, and with our youngest right now, he's trying on a lot of different kind of inventions of himself. And you've kind of said, like, oh yeah, I remember when I was like that, and I remember when I did that, and oh yeah, I went through my goth era and all of this sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just interesting to me, all of the different characters one can play in their life. And Yeah, and none of it is really truly necessarily them, or that it doesn't have to always be them.
Yes. And I think all of those characters, you do pull something out of it, right?
Yeah.
And leading to today, you look back, and as we were saying, looking back at childhood and whatnot, you can see all those pieces within rolled
yourself
into
now.
today. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Who has made a significant impact on your life and how?
There's numerous people that have made huge impacts in my life. Some that don't even know they've made huge impacts
Yeah.
on my life. I mean, it would be somewhat poor of me to list off one person, right? Because so many people have made such a big impact in my life. You've definitely made a big impact, and again, there's plenty of other people.
Yeah, but like who, and don't even like use me as an impact in your life right now, because that just feels a little egotistical.
No, but I
or
mean,
something like
along
that,
the journey, there has been people that have impacted my life to go this way or that way.
Yeah.
And even today, there's still people that, and I would almost venture to say that all people do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, I think more about what people say and this, that, and the other thing, which has influence on my thoughts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been so many people, and if you have given a Grammy speech thanking everybody, it would be a list.
Okay, so I mean, I think we all have we've got our moms and our dads, and we've got our siblings and other family members, mentors, etc. There's kind of okay, I could go, yeah, these are the people that have impacted me. Well, who would you say is, I'm going to say, the most surprising impact that you did not expect a person to have on you? Because I know you said there's some people that don't even know that they've had such an impact on you. So.
That's a tough question.
Okay.
To say one person has had the most impact.
Surprising person. Like, to me, it's like, it's like a stranger or a client, a colleague or something that it's like they just say something that's like blows your mind.
Yes, and that's why there's still a lot of people that do that, where it's like, wow, you didn't know. Like, I don't outright say, oh, that piece of information, that's great. And maybe I should, but I don't. And I think it's always when you're not looking, that have the biggest impact, where somebody will just say something that it triggers something in you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't even see this coming. I didn't realize, I don't even know if the people that are giving that advice realize how deep, impactful that, whatever that advice is, can be.
Yeah.
Those I think are the biggest ones. Where it's
is there any that stick out to your mind right now as you're talking about it?
Nothing. Really specifically that, but I know there's been plenty where I've walked away from conversations with people, be it you or our kids or family members, where it's like, holy, wow, I never knew this, or that was sage advice from, from where?
Yeah.
I've seen it with, I've seen it with the kids, I've seen it with you, I've seen it with colleagues, where it's just it makes you think.
Yeah. Okay. How has your definition of success changed?
So, how has my definition of success changed? I would say that at one point, success was kind of like the checklist. get all these things done and you'll be successful. But, you know, looking at things, you have been successful. You are successful. Like, there is no, now I look at it as like, you're not looking for something to call it to be successful. You're not looking for something to complete you to be successful.
Yeah.
You just need to have the mindset, you know, yes, I am where I need to be. I am successful, period.
Yeah.
I don't need something external to make me look or be successful. I just need me to know that.
Yeah. All right. It seems like you go from a lot of internal validation. So where did that come from? Like, do you remember a time in your life where you went from external validation? Because I think we've all done that. And we're able to go into that internal validation of, I am enough.
I can't pin down these exact time. I think there's always been a piece of me that didn't really look for external validation. I know there has been, but I am very internalized person, right? Where I take things in more so, I find, and not look for somebody's approval on this, that, or how I should be. But I think it gets stronger and stronger as you get older, where it's like, no, this is the right, I don't even say the right way, but it feels right.
Yeah. Okay. What is a value that you are now unwilling to compromise on?
None of them.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, there's a lot of different values that you can you can hold on to very hard, right? Like being a good person, and whatnot is always a value that I think everybody should hang on to. Is, you know, everybody's got a story, everybody's got a journey, and sometimes we don't pay attention to those things and are taking things more personal and look at things in a different light, I guess. But I would say it would be to hold on to values and things that can change. Again, just kind of set yourself up for some heartache.
How so?
So with my values that I hold to myself, I can control myself.
Yeah.
And the values I have.
Yeah.
But I can't control other people and how they receive me, or how they influence me.
Yeah.
So I can hold true to my values of, everything, do the right thing for the right reasons, and just value every experience. But that doesn't mean everybody's going to do the same. Yeah. So if I'm looking for somebody to validate my values as who I am and they don't, then that kind of sets me up for disappointment.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just, because it's like, so you're not actually willing to be unwilling to let go of your values.
I think you have to be willing to let go of everything, right? That's kind of what I'm saying, is that although I admire the values that I have, the things that I value, I'm also okay if that changes.
Okay.
Because there's things that I used to value back when I was younger that now are like, that's really, it's still, not a big deal, but it's still something I care about. It's just not something I put as a lot of credence behind it.
It's not a high value ticket anymore. Okay. What lesson or truth do you wish you understood earlier in life?
All of them.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I wish, and we've spent some time talking about this, about ruminating about the past, about wishing to know things sooner, and and I do think everything comes into your purview at the right time. And I only say that because if we knew these things earlier, how has that changed the trajectory of what your life looks like? I think life hands you the things that you can take when you can take them. And sure, I would love to know all of the truths earlier. Just about life and spirituality and physics and, life in general. And, but I wouldn't change where I'm at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sacrifice what I have for those truths to be known sooner than I knew them.
Okay. And now the other part of this question that I've got questions written down, but then I've got other questions that are popping up in my mind. Have you ever noticed truths that you understand now in like an embodied way that you carried when you were a child, but you didn't really understand the entire concept of it, and you can go like, oh wow, I was right?
Oh, still learning. There's still there's some truths where it's like, okay, this was part of the truth that you understood back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that you just get more, it's like peeling an onion or an orange or whatever, you see more and more of that truth.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, this is deeper than you thought this is. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, okay, that wasn't a truth at all. That was, something.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a story that was made up by people's pasts and their experience, and it's not really a truth.
Yeah.
It's their experience.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know for myself, there was some innate knowings that I had as a child that I had no basis or foundation for. And then as an adult now, it's like I can look at little me and go, yeah, you were onto something. Mm-hmm. You had no one there to show you or prove to you that, yes, you were correct. But yeah, you were correct on that.
Yeah. I think it's not really a truth, but the one that probably sticks out, my mom has said this many times, that I was always that quiet kid that was thinking
Yeah.
all the time, right? And going back to that small self, it was wondering how this all works.
Yeah.
And I've still, now I know more.
Yeah.
I've experienced more, so but I continue to look at things that I thought I knew and finding out I didn't really know what I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Or there's more to that. So
yeah. Okay. What message would you like to give to young people of today?
There's plenty of messages.
Say them all.
I think I don't want to put my influence or my whatever negatively on any generation. But I would say that I wish this generation would know what I know now, I guess, or what we know now, right? Where it's like all of these distractions, all of these things, all of the stuff that has become important for this younger generation is just a distraction to this, to finding oneself. And I say that, but I mean, and I've seen where some of this stuff is pointing in that direction, but it's just misconstrued in the wrong way, or it's coming out the wrong way for kids, where it's like, oh, you have to be this way. And I guess that was similar to our experience as well. But I would say that look to yourself. Don't look for that outside and those outside answers, and never give up. That's the undertone.
Yeah. What have you learned about relationships?
So with relationships, and I think this goes to people in general, like everybody is changing all the time. Do not have this expectation that this person is going to be the same every day. Or, we all change every day, and what those relationships are will change. And that's not a bad thing. It feels sometimes like, oh, this is really bad. This person was in my life and now they're not. But they were in your life. There was a part of that experience. They had influence on you. So, enjoy those relationships while they're there, and pay attention to every single moment. But just know that, it is okay for them to change. It's okay for relationships to be there and then not there. Just remember what to take away from that piece, from that relationship is, and again, just really, while you're in that moment, I don't want to say take notes, but, just be present and really absorb everything you need out of that, because tomorrow it could change, and that's okay. That's what we're here. We need to evolve, right?
Yeah. Okay. And how has your relationship to God or spirituality shifted throughout the years?
It's very interesting because, as a young child, we went to Sunday school and after school church program. So I had an idea of what faith was, but it was, maybe misconstrued a little bit. And then the influence of just life and other people's experiences with religion and whatnot kind of clouded that. I would say definitely in the last 5-10 years, my view on religion and spirituality has changed. I mean, I've looked at a number of different religions and different spirituality pieces, and they're all very much the same. And it has changed in just understanding that we're all speaking maybe a different language, but the message is the same.
Yeah.
And I think that we, as a society with religion, things are taken very literal, where we need to really think about what that message is. Is it that literal, or is it something to a call to action for us, right?
Yeah.
So my views on religion, I would say I was kind of non-accepting. It was kind of not forced on us, but it was, okay, this is how things are. And I remember, doing religion in school, and it was fun, and the stories are good, and were very interesting and whatnot. To a point where I was like, no, religion, there is no this. I got very scientific, and this is how the world works, and this is how Earth is, and et cetera, et cetera. And now it's more of it can be all of those things. So, yeah.
Yeah. What legacy are you focusing on creating now?
What legacy am I focusing on creating now? This legacy right here is, trying to bring just a little bit of softness to things that people don't typically address. We've talked about men being vulnerable and stuff like that. Just communicating, and I think being present in this time, and people being more honest and wanting to see or not wanting to see, but seeing that we all need each other. We all need each other to make this work.
Yeah.
And just trying to get that, I want to say get that message out there, but just to remind people that, it's not me against you. It's not me against we need to do this together.
Yeah. Okay. And what makes you feel truly seen and appreciated at this point in your life?
What makes me feel truly seen? It's a very interesting question because I'm humble, right? I don't want to be seen.
Okay.
But I know I'm seen.
Got you.
Right? I always try to do these little things, and I'm not looking for the cookie. I just want to do them because I want. At one point there would be, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and I want this validation or whatever. But now it's more, I just want to do these things to make something a little bit easier or give somebody the space to do whatever else they need to do to fulfill themselves.
Yeah.
So it's when, people, they don't really see you, but they feel that difference where it's like, they don't know that you did this, whatever this is, but then you get to see them move through whatever that other thing is easier because you took that action. So you're not being seen, but you are being seen because if not, it would have been more difficult for them to do whatever they needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. An example of that is he will prepare lots of food and have it in the freezer so I don't have to worry about supper so much. There's things that are readily available because I used to hate cooking.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I always try to just make that one, and I do that at work too, where it's just try to make everybody's life just that much easier.
Yeah.
It's good intrinsically, it makes my life easier. So why not? Just it's those little things, sure, it takes a little bit of effort up front, but long term, things just flow.
Alrighty. And if you could tell the world one thing, what would you want the world to know? Like you were on a stage in front of 8 billion people right now and they were all tuned in and listening.
Aliens are real. If I had, I don't know. With 8 billion or billion people in front of me, I would want to say, just reiterate that communal message of how can we be better together? How can we remove the division that continues to be created? Everybody and nobody is special, and we need to remember that. We don't need to divide ourselves. We need to bring ourselves together. We're all special, and none of us are special. And just keep that message of together we are better, we're stronger, and we will have more fulfilling lives if we support each other in the journeys that we're on versus try to make it a competition versus each other. If we're trying to one-up each other and we're creating these divisions, that is not going to get us where we need to go.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that it's just the more support you get, the quicker things get done, right? So if we can find a way just to, as humans, to remember that, and I think it would have a huge impact on all of the problems that we have, right? So food scarcity or homelessness or whatever. If we remembered that we're in this together and not go, oh, that person, we'd be, far better off. And I think just intrinsically we would see leaps and bounds made in humanity.
Awesome.
So that would be my message, is just to reinforce that community, the global community, and never give up.
And then, so do you remember, like, as a kid, you had to, like, picture the future and, like, decide what the future was going to look like? What do you believe the future is going to look like in the next 50 years? Like, what is the vision you hold for that?
The vision I hold, or the vision...
The vision that you hold for what you would like to see the world to look like in 50 years.
Ideally, as I just said, you know, I don't think we'll ever, or not in a long time, get to what I just spoke about of, you know, everybody being on the same page. I think it will graduate that way. And I think we're seeing that more and more, where people are coming together, people are having that mindset. We are breaking down some of the division. I do think it will graduate that way, but there will be challenges, right? There will be things that come up that will want to. There's obviously things that don't want that, because if there wasn't, we would be there already.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's all sunshine and lollipops in the future. But I do think that we will continue to get closer and closer to that oneness that we need to be.
Yeah.
And it will come through, you know, different tests, trials, tribulations, and tragedies, but just keep staying that course and never giving up on it, and going, yeah, you know what? Even though this happened, I can love this person, or I can love these people, because we are this one entity.
Yeah. And then on the reverse of that, was there anything you thought the future was going to be like when you were a young person that you kind of giggle at now, or go, wow, I was right on the mark with that?
Well, I mean, flying cars, right? Generation X first name, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we all definitely thought there'd be flying cars. You know, I remember thinking, no, year 2000, we're going to be flying around in spaceships, and we'll have, you know, alien people that are living on this planet, and we'll be all this, you know, whatever, this mixed
very
group.
high tech, yeah.
Some things we have definitely pushed the limits on. Other things, it's, you know, yeah, we're not quite there yet, right? Yeah. And I think all for a good purpose. But yeah, I definitely thought we would be living in a more high-tech world. I think the lessons that we've learned show us that we don't want to be living in a super high-tech world. I think we want to be living in a balanced world.
Yeah.
You know, where we're using technology to better our lives, not to make ourselves lazier or to, you know, hide from this or that. You know, use that technology in tandem with the other things in life, you know, like spirituality, or just living, or exercise, or whatever. All of the things that you need to do in life to maintain your avatar and whatnot.
Yeah. But
use it as to support that, not as a crutch.
Okay. Yeah. And then, how do you feel about getting older?
So, you know, it's interesting. I've gone through this like roller coaster where, at one point in time, I remember, you know, 30s or whatever, it was like, oh man, getting old, blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, but at some point, I don't know, things change where it's like, I don't see it as, I don't feel like I'm going to be 50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to get it out of my mouth that I'm going to be 50. So yeah, it's like, I look at it now as, no, this is like a rebirth. Not even a rebirth. It's like, okay, the first 50 years, you've taken all of this stuff. This is what you know. And now, instead of going, oh, we're just going to continue this journey till the end and just up. It's almost like, okay, now you know all of these things. Now you need to apply them.
Yeah.
And now you need to, keep pushing these things versus, I don't know, a lot of people look at it, after 50, so everything's downhill. I'm like, no, I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah.
I'm taking everything that I've learned in my life and I want to make things that much more and that much better. Is instead of going, oh no, this is the downside of the mountain. No, we're just going to keep pushing up the mountain. And yeah.
Awesome. It's actually in a lot of indigenous cultures, they say the first 49 years of your life is like the learning era. And then when you are in that transition from 49 to 50, is kind of like the time where you get to make a lot of choices. And then 50 is the rebirth. And like you said, it's like where you get to apply what this knowledge is. And what I love about a lot of indigenous cultures is how much they regard the elders, right? Where we tend to kind of glorify the youth and whatnot. For the indigenous people, when you become one of the grandmothers or one of the grandfathers, it's like you carry this extra wisdom that the younger generations don't get to have. And I love the way that they kind of process that aging status.
Yeah, I would agree. That's it is a great way to look at it. And I don't know. I think now that it's more like it's not the downhill. Like, you have all of these things now, use them and use them in ways of like challenging those 50 years.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, you learned this when you were 20. Is this valid? Is this real? Now that you know all of these other things and you've lived your life, how does that change that narrative of this piece?
Yeah. It's actually going to be one of my questions for you is, what do you believe was the most valuable thing that you had to unlearn in this life? Yeah.
The most valuable thing that I had to unlearn. One that I would say, and I can't specifically say it is to one thing. There's a lot of illusions out there. There's a lot of things that are made up to be something that they're not, to give us a false sense of hope of what that piece is. So I know that's kind of vague, but it does apply to a lot of things where we have this illusionary idea of this is the way it is, and when we get there, that isn't the way it is. So unlearning, like, I guess it's more just living and realizing that there is these illusions that are there that are not real.
Yeah.
We fear things that are not real. This is part of the illusion, right? It's like we think that we're going to, I don't know, I'll use the healthcare system. If we go to the hospital, they're going to make us all better again. Well, sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. That is an illusion that we've created, that the hospital or the doctors are the high and mighty of everything and can cure everything. That is an illusion.
Yeah. And
there's so many different things of that where it's like, no, some things are illusions that have been put to us by other people's experiences or have been taught or passed down. And it's really experiencing life and uncovering those illusions and be okay that it is an illusion, but just knowing that and not putting your eggs in the basket to say, oh, when I get to here, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's recognizing the illusions and not getting disappointed that they're illusions, just that this is the way it is and it's okay.
Yeah.
because for me that it helps with that expectation piece, right? Is if I expect that if I go to the hospital, I'm going to get cured of all my ailments, I'm going to be let down, or there's a good chance I'm going to be let down by that.
Yeah.
So just going in and knowing that, okay, that is not the case. Whatever is going to happen, whether it's good or bad, or preferred or not preferred, is okay. And it just, to me, it helps with that stress piece, or that, negative mindset that we can create by having expectations.
Yeah. And I know that we've kind of talked about the value of getting older. Is there any fears you have about getting older?
So I used to have fears about getting older.
Yeah.
The typical fears of body aches, vision, health concerns, and I would say those have diminished. I mean, there's still parts there, but the mindset that I have, or has come to me of looking at this in a different light, has definitely quieted those. Where it's like, no, this is not the downside.
Yeah.
This is just a new chapter. It's getting me excited about the next 50
Yeah.
or 100. You never know.
Yeah, and then final question, unless there's anything that you want to share beyond what I've asked that you're like, God, I really wish you would have asked me about this and I would have talked about this. This is going to sound kind of cryptic or whatever, but I mean, ultimately every day that we get older, we're getting like one day closer to death. Mm-hmm. Do you have fears around that, or about, I guess, getting closer to it? And what are your thoughts around death, the afterlife, all of that sort of?
It's very cryptic.
I didn't want it to be cryptic, but it is like, because I feel like that's one of the fears that comes up for a lot of people as they get older, is like, I don't know how much more time I've got left here, So,
and again, I would go back to, was there a time where I feared death? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a lot of thinking about this you're fearing the unknown. We're fearing death because it has been painted in such a dark light. We don't know. And it's a paradox, because it's like, you have people preaching about heaven and how great things are on the other side of this, but we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because we want to stay here, but then we complain about what's here, but not wanting to go there where it's so much better. So, it just...
Yeah, I know, it's a very oxymoron.
Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So no, I think that if anything, it makes me focus more on every moment.
Yeah.
But I don't fear what I don't know and what that looks like. I have to accept whatever the journey is, and I'm here for it. And I'm excited for the adventure and whatever it may be. But at one point in time, absolutely, I feared death, and don't do this and don't do that and whatnot. But anymore, it's like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Something you don't know. Well, you could live your life that way, but that's going to significantly impact your expression and your observing and witnessing of life if you fear the unknown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Embrace the unknown and trust that it will be okay, regardless if it's here or on another plane or another dimension. Things will be okay. They're going to be what they need to be, regardless if we like it or not.
Yeah.
And more and more, like the talking about death, I'm again not uncomfortable with it. But the other side of that is, it's how the people that are here still and what their experience is that probably plays on my mind.
Yeah.
I trust that that piece will be okay as well.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's one of those things that...
Yeah, like how will people go on without me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah. That's probably been my biggest fear around death, was, especially when the kids were younger and stuff, really not wanting to go at that point in time, because I didn't want that impact on them. I
still have lots of work to do here. That's what I continue to say. And I can feel it. There's still purpose. There's still a need. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that purpose and that need, that knowing that there's still more here that needs to get done, I think it does actually help to root you in life. Mm-hmm. Where if you're like, I've got nothing left to give, I've got nothing left to do, it kind of unplucks your roots from life.
I would agree.
Do you have anything else that you want to share? Anything that you wanted me to ask questions about that you're like...
No, I think you answered a lot of really good questions. There was a few questions that caught me off guard that I was like, wow.
Yeah, Google's great.
I never really thought of this or thought of that. It's half a century.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
It feels like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So, my words would be, again, pay attention to everything. Like, just be in the moments that you're in, every moment. It goes back to, that exercise about, like, washing your hands, mindfulness, right? And really just be mindful of every... I'm not saying you need to slow down or you need to do things like at a snail pace to make sure you're documenting everything, but just be very mindful and intentional with every moment of your life.
Yeah.
Experience, observe, take it all in, even the mundane stuff.
Yeah.
Add to the collective, be a good human. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing 50 years of wisdom with us today. And a big happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining in and for hearing what John has to share. And we would love to hear from you guys in the comments if you've got your own answers to any of the questions that I just asked John. Or if you want to jump into the comments to wish him a happy 50th birthday, that would be great too. So we will see you guys again next week on the Sacred Exchange.
Thank you, and take care, folks.